Hello guys, this is Ascendance, and today on 4FS Gaming we will be looking at how to hit more and miss less in shooters. We have 5 tips for you which will hopefully help to improve your aim. Now I know Titanfall 2 pretty well, so most of my examples will be pulled from that game. Now these tips obviously will vary depending on whether you play on console or on PC, but fear not, I hope that everyone can find something of relevance here. Item number 1 on our list is to know your weapon. Well, more specifically, to know if it is a hit scan weapon or a projectile weapon, because they behave very differently and it is important to know these differences. A hit scan weapon is one that when you pull the trigger, the shots will instantly hit whatever you are aiming at. There is no travel time, and the bullets simply hit where you aim when you pull the trigger straight away. On the other hand, a projectile weapon actually fires an object of some type. The projectile itself has travel time and will take a moment to hit the target depending on the speed of the shot that's been fired. Some shots like sniper bullets are really fast. Others, such as some grenadier weapons, are quite slow. You may also have to adjust for bullet drop or other environmental factors with some projectile weapons. When shooting with projectile weapons, you need to lead the target and shoot where it is going to be, not where it is at the moment you pull the trigger. However, if you lead on a target with a hit scan weapon, you are going to be missing a lot of shots. And if you don't lead the target with projectile weapons, you will also miss a lot of shots. Now before you start yelling at me for this tip being super obvious, which it kind of is, in Titanfall 2 there are actually some really confusing weapons. Many people have thought that the Vault and Devotion were both projectile, due to the particle effect they produce when they shoot. However, these weapons are in fact hit scan. The Wingman Elite, unlike the B3 Wingman, is actually a projectile weapon as well, despite many people thinking the contrary. Let's move on to our second tip, and this is to get familiar with the aim assist of the weapon that you are using. Now this is particularly useful for players on console, as controllers offer much less precision than the keyboard and mouse setup you will find on PC. Aim assist is when your reticle will automatically track 2 enemy targets, and slow down as you pan over them. There are other kinds of aim assist such as bullet magnetism, where it essentially means that you can miss, but still have the shot register as a hit if it brushes close enough to the target. In Titanfall 2, most weapons with the exception of sniper rifles and a few others have quite heavy aim assistance. However, in order for this aim assist to take effect, you must be in motion, so moving your movement keys or your left thumbstick on a controller. This is a really interesting mechanic that is not present in a lot of games. Different weapons have different strengths of aim assist, and their aim assist will only function up to a set range. So for instance, assault rifles tend to track targets much further away than SMGs can with their aim assist. So how can we use this aim assist to enhance our shooting? Well, you can actually drag the reticule across a target, and the aim assist will slow the reticle movement down as you cross your opponent's hitbox, meaning that if you shoot as you drag across, you are more likely to hit your target. This is very useful for high impact weapons like shotguns or high powered pistols, and in most games it works wonders for sniper rifles as well, with a technique called swipe scoping. But alas, in Titanfall 2 snipers do not have any aim assist to benefit from at all, so you won't be using that technique in that game. The third tip that we have for you today is to know when to hip fire and when to aim down sights. Most guns in Titanfall 2 have very strong hip fire aim, especially shotguns, SMGs, and guns like the R201 carbine. Unless the weapon has a large spread when hip firing, you should be hip firing as a default, as it keeps your view open, allows you to move a lot faster, and rack up kills without slowing down. Aiming down sights is for weapons such as snipers or rifles with a large spread, and also for when you need to take shots at far away targets, depending on the gun you are using. Unless of course you are using the Kraber. Now that thing is a sniper and a shotgun all in one package. When using hipfire, trusting in aim assist to pull your reticle to the target is very important, as most engagements will occur within the range that aim assist kicks in for that weapon. The fourth tip we have is about your sensitivity. Now ultimately sensitivity is something that is down to personal preference. but there are some pros and cons to using high sensitivity and low sensitivity respectively. High sensitivities allow you much more agility when you aim, so you can turn faster and react to threats from different directions. However, it also means you have less precision when you aim your shots, and try to make fine adjustments in targeting. If you are on PC, there are some ways around this problem. A common setup is to use a huge mousepad and set the sensitivity very low. This gives a large amount of dexterity if you have the desk space for it. Moving on to our final tip, it is simple but golden. Shoot less and hit more. This may sound silly, but much of the time you spend spamming shots or pulling the trigger rapidly or for too long seriously hampers your aim. When using single shot weapons, take the time to line up your shot. Many have enough recoil that if you pull the trigger as fast as the gun lets you, you will be wildly off mark with those shots. Panic shooting with the wingman or the DMR is the fastest way to empty your clip into the air. Respawn, the developer of Titanfall 2, recently changed the G2 semi-automatic rifle and the DMR so that they have lower fire rates. These so-called nerfs actually seem to improve both weapons, as they now center more before you can take that second shot. The same goes for automatic weapons. In games with a low time to kill like Titanfall, if you have not killed someone within the first second of shooting from an automatic gun, continuing to shoot will likely just finish with you dead on the ground while trying to reload. This is why you should fire your weapon in bursts, so the reticle and spread don't start to wander too far off the target. Holding that trigger down continually really isn't going to help you kill something if you couldn't do it initially. Exceptions to this rule are of course a lot of light machine guns, such as the Devotion especially, which powers up the longer you hold the trigger. These tips individually are quite basic, but when combined they can make powerful adjustments to your playstyle. For instance, a player who uses the alternator SMG with low sensitivity, always aims down sights, and holds down the trigger is going to struggle to use the gun to the best of its ability, whereas a player who hip fires while moving, shooting in very small bursts using aim assist to pull the reticle to targets, will find far more success. I am thinking of putting together some individual weapon guides, looking at damage values, range drop-off, aim assistance, hip fire accuracy, and spread, so this video is sort of a primer for that kind of material. Thank you so much for watching. Please go and check out our Facebook page, it is linked in the description below for a whole lot more stuff that we have been posting, little clips and whatnot, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video, so get out there and hit something.